Hi everybody, this is Maggie with So Empty Handed, and today I have a video tutorial for my brand new waist pack, fanny pack, bum bag, sling pack pattern called Pack to the Future. So this is what we're gonna make. This is it. This beautiful fabric is vinyl from Cotton & Twirls. It's going to be available on pre-order pretty soon, so make sure you check out Cotton & Twirls if you like this vinyl. There are a couple variations for this bag. It's mostly the strap anchor that's going to be the difference. So this version is the strap anchor with a D-ring connector. So another version, and actually my preferred version, is with a grommet. So you don't put any webbing on this at all, and I think that's amazing because then you don't have to worry about the webbing fraying in the seam and pulling out. The third version is making like a static strap. You would then sew, instead of just the webbing, it would be the full strap, and then you put all of your hardware on the strap, and then obviously it's not removable. Other features, so we have a back zipper pocket. This is actually where we end up turning the bag through. So there's no binding on this fanny pack either. I am super anti-binding. I've come a long way with binding, and I'm like, I don't hate it as much, but I'm still not gonna put it in my patterns yet. And then on the inside, we have some card slots, just a couple. So you can get your ID and your credit card and whatever. And then the back is just like a little deeper slip pocket behind it, so you can keep anything else in there too. And that's pretty much it. Got the flap. Yeah, so this is what we're gonna make. This is the one that I make in the video, so you can follow along with me. And if you have the pattern, which I hope you do because you're watching this video, you'll notice in some of the pictures, like even in tester pictures, like the strap anchors are like different sizes, shapes, what have you. That's because there was a lot of evolution of these strap anchors happening. So this is the final version. So I hope this video helps everybody that enjoys videos. I do know that like I wrote the pattern, I'm doing this video, so they're going to be very similar, and I try to explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it. I do, for the first part, for the flap, bring the camera to the sewing machine, so that way you can see how I'm moving either the fabric or the zipper to get like this change in the corner. So yeah, all right, enjoy. Make sure you visit the So Empty Handed VIP group on Facebook and post your finished fanny pack. The first step for creating the flap is we're going to put the long zipper onto the flap pieces, but the first thing we want to do is draw in the seam allowance line on the exterior piece. So the seam allowance is 3/8 of an inch. So you want to do it, the zipper is going to go along the curved edge, starting here. So there's my 3 marks. I'm just going to, you can use the pattern piece. It is drawn in there. Or you can just go around, and I make marks at 3/8 of an inch. Every 1.5 inches or so, and then I will connect those. There we go. Your next step is figuring out which way you want your zipper pull to go. I like to have it so the zipper pull is closed when I'm wearing it. So if this goes on my body, here's my body, goes on my body, I want it to be closed to the left. This is the closed end. So this part pointed to the left. My left, that is. So this is going to go on this side. This end is going to go on this side. Okay. Flip this over. And I want this to be on top, so I'm going to start sewing with this side because I'm going to have my zipper foot, and I want my seam allowance on the right side when I'm sewing. So zipper pull is going to go start on this end when it's closed, but I'm going to start sewing on this end. Okay. You're gonna, if you see where your stitching is, it's going to go across here, and then we're going to pivot the zipper. So the way that this goes in is kind of feels a little weird. So I have these like this. This end is going to touch here. So this is actually going to go. The end is going to line up with this tab part, right, like that. And then this is right side up right now. And so my fabric goes right sides together. My zipper is at a 90-degree angle with them, like this. And you just want to make sure it's there, that. Oh, before I clip that, we want to snip into these corners, so I'm going to keep this like this, so that way. All right. So first thing we want to snip in the seam allowance all the way to the corner, like that. But you don't want to go past your stitch line. So go as close as you can without cutting the stitch line, well, where your stitch line will be. And you're going to do that on both. Okay. And then to transfer those to the lining, I just put them together. These are right sides together, that's how they're going to be sewn. And then I copy that snip mark into the lining. Okay, so now with exterior lining, this lining's right side up. Edge of the zipper tape aligns with that, and then this one goes on top. And then the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to stitch along this first short line, and then we're going to stop there, back stitch, and then cut your thread so I can show you how to pivot this. Once you've done it a few times, you don't have to cut it. You can keep it needle down in your machine and then pivot everything like this while it's in your machine. But if this is your first time doing it, first few times, I'm going to have you stop and back stitch and cut your thread. So I have these clipped together. I'm just going to go down and stop at the corner. Okay, so I stopped at the corner here to make sure I'm going to make sure the snip that I made into here is that there's a little fabric, so that the stitch line is past that a little bit. Right now it's like this. You have your edge here. So you're going to pivot the exterior first, and you're going to get like this kind of a fold. You don't actually need to fold it or anything. But you're going to line up the exterior with the zipper tape edge, and then you can clip that. Now we're going to do the same thing with the lining. So you would take your lining, same thing's going to happen. We're going to get like this little folds here, and we have the exterior, and now I'm just going to add that in with my clip, and now it's lined up right. So then you can then continue lining up your zipper with the exterior. So you're only going to do this until just around the curve, because so we're going to stop there again, and then we're going to have to pivot the end. So now we're going to start right at that spot we stopped at the first time. So you can go ahead and put your needle in that spot, And then you want to follow, you're going to follow the seam allowance stitching line that you have on your exterior. You're going to follow all the way to this last corner here. You want to make sure when you're getting to the edge that your zipper tape is still like aligned with this edge up here. You don't want it to go rogue at the end. You want it to stay in the right spot. Alright, so I'm coming up onto the corner. We stopped at this corner, and then we want to stitch across. We want to stitch across this part to lock in the zipper tape, essentially. So we have to turn this all the way this way. Okay. It doesn't help because my zipper tape came apart a little bit, but essentially this edge is going to be along the zipper tape edge, and then this edge that you're stitching across is going to be parallel with the cut end of the zipper tape. So when we started, that end lined up here, but this is a little bit longer than we needed just because I wanted a little extra leeway in case you need it. So this is going to go like that. I'm gonna clip that there, and then I'm gonna bring the lining down with it. Once again, you have like these folds on the sides, and you're gonna start where you stopped at and then stitch down this line. And I'm just going to hold my zipper tape teeth together because it did get separated, but here we are. Sometimes I need to use the hum jumper to get over the zipper teeth. I'm just going to put that in there. There we go. Now we can check. So we're going to open it up. And how it should be is that the zipper tape essentially this ends up being like a zipper tape tab, but it is a stopper on both sides. And then this should be together like this. And then you'll want to take this to, with your iron, and you want to press it if you can, depending on your material. And then we're going to top stitch from here all the way along and down. And then you can take any excess zipper tape and you can trim it off. Just make sure to singe the ends again. You could trim this down even a little bit more if you wanted to, but it's good to have a little extra there. Then we have the flap. One last thing before we move to the next part, we're going to go ahead and cameras. We're going to baste this to baste the lining and the exterior together. And then we have base stitch together, and then we can set this aside. The next part of the instructions are going to have you do the back panel. So we have to get the back panel exterior ready, and then we have to create the back panel lining. So we're going to start with the card slots. And then we have the middle panel. This is what the card slots will go onto once this is folded. And then we have our 2 side panels. Starting with the card slots, you want to transfer either the full lines, depending on your fabric. I don't want it to see through, so I just did on the sides, on both sides marked, and then I did a little snip into each one because it makes it easier for folding. And then I already went ahead and folded this one, so it's a little prepped. But first thing, this is the right side. I did the marks on the wrong side. Right sides, this is the top, this is the 4-inch line. So we're gonna fold wrong sides together at the 4-inch line. And then you want to press. You can finger press, you can use your iron, whatever you need to do. Okay, and then the next line's 2.5 inches, and then we're gonna fold that right sides together. Okay. Finger press or iron, and then the next line is the 1.75 or 1 3/4, and you're gonna fold wrong sides together, and then you go to the next one. It's gonna be right sides together, and then this last one is going to be right sides together, then wrong sides together. And what should happen is you'll have 1, 2 little card pockets, and then this will be like a bigger slip pocket, slightly bigger slip pocket, and then this should line up or closely line up to the back panel. So this is the right side, this is the right side. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and I'm going to stitch across each of these folds. So I went ahead and top stitch along each of these, and then you want to baste down the sides and across the bottom. I did it based on where my shortest edge was, and these, my front was a little bit shorter, so I'm gonna know how to trim that. And then we're going to take these card slots and we're gonna place it, line up, middle, and then we're gonna baste this onto the middle. After basting that onto the middle, we're gonna take our sides. We're gonna take one side and the card slots middle panel, and we're going to put them right sides together, stitch with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, take it off, pull back, and then top stitch on the side panel. And then we're going to do that again with this side. So essentially putting that in the middle, stitching 1/4 inch seam allowance, folding those back, and top stitching. I have the back panel lining ready for trimming. You can either take the pattern piece or you can take your cut out back panel, line up your center mark. You want to trim the lining panel. So there we have our finished back panel lining. Now we're going to install the back panel exterior zipper pocket. So I already cut out the box. You can transfer the lines from your pattern piece, or you can measure down 1.5 inches and then draw your, I think it's 7-inch or 6.5, 6-inch box. Yeah, and then draw your 6-inch box, 6-inch by 1/2 inch box. But the top is 1.5 inches from the top. Okay. And you will need your zipper tape and your zipper pull and your lining pieces. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, since I'm doing this, if you are using a cotton woven fabric, I have instructions on adding a vinyl zipper overlay or zipper accent piece that you're going to put on first, and that's going to get you the same cut open rectangle. So you'll just start, once after you do that, you'll start at this point. Anyway, so we're gonna do the zipper. I'm not gonna put the zipper pull on yet, but my zipper tape is the right sides up. So we want zipper tape to go right side up on top of the right side up panel. So both right sides are up. And we're going to baste that at like 1/8 inch in place. And then you'll do the same thing. This will be attached. And then you will do the same thing the other side and baste that on. I have both of the linings put together. So the inside, this is the right side, and we're going to be able to put in the zipper. Let's put in the zipper pull. You can put double-sided tape on the zipper tape if you'd like to help stick it in place, but we're going to position this into the rectangle here. And then we're only going to start, we're going to start at 1/8 of an inch away from the corner, like to the right. And then we're going to stitch all the way across. I think I'm going to start on this side. And then you're going to all the way across the bottom with, make sure both of your lining pieces are up. And I'm going to stop about 1/8 of an inch past this cut edge, only on the bottom. Okay. So you can see that I started here and I went across. I left a long enough tail because what I'm going to do is you're going to pull both threads to the back and we're going to tie them off. Okay, so I'm going to trim these and cinch the ends so that way it stays. And then what we want to do is pull both these back, or pull them down. And then we're going to make sure we line up the top part of the zipper with the top. And then what we're going to do is place your needle in where you stopped at. And then we're going to stitch up along this top and then back down to this point and then stop there. And then make sure you have the long threads because we'll pull those back again and tie them off. We did the stitching on the sides and across the top. This kind of looks like from the back. I'm going to pull this through again and tie it. I'm going to trim this so it's even. We are going to fold this up about 1/2 inch. And then fold that one as well. So both lining pieces, the bottom is folded in. And then you can clip that in place and then you're going to stitch down the side. I'm going to use probably a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Doesn't really matter, just start at the top and go all the way down. We have our back panel exterior. This is where you're going to turn the bag. So make sure you have the zipper open. I'm just going to keep it open like that so I don't have to worry about it later. I know that it's open. And we're done with the card pockets on the back panel lining. And we have our flap lining in exterior. Now we're going to make our strap anchors. So a note about the strap anchors is this strap anchor piece. If you're going to use a grommet and have detachable strap, you cut the piece as is. If you're doing an attached strap with 1-inch webbing, you cut it as is. If you're doing an attached strap with 1-inch D-ring connectors, you cut it as is. If you are using 1.5-inch webbing and you're sewing it directly to the strap anchor, you want to fold your piece on this line and you're going to cut it like this. That is so the 1.5-inch webbing will fit. If you're using 1-inch webbing, but you want to do a 1.5-inch D-ring connector on here, you'll cut it on here. So if you are attaching 1.5-inch webbing to the strap anchor, cut it at the line, at the dotted line. Otherwise, full piece. I'm going to be using D-ring connectors because I don't have any rainbow. I'm using rainbow hardware, and I don't have any rainbow grommets, so I'm going to be using D-ring connector for mine. I have 2 pieces of webbing. They're about 3 inches in length, and I have 2 1-inch D-ring connectors. What I'm going to do is fold that in, and then I will baste that, and then once that is secured together, I will then center it, and I'm going to have about a 1/2 inch sticking out, and I will baste that in place. All right, I did it on 2 of them, so we have the D-ring connector on here. Now we're just going to take the extra 2 and we're going to place it right sides together, and then we're going to sew along. We're not going to sew this edge at all. We're going to leave this open, and we're going to sew along these edges. We're going to go up, over, and around. So I did around the edges, and then I did an additional line of stitching on over top of the webbing just to keep it secure, and then I am going to trim the corners to help those to poke out. And then we're going to turn these right side out. Alright, I've got these turned right side out. I poked the corners out as best as I could. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to top stitch along all of these sewn edges at an 1/8 inch, and then I'm going to baste across as well. I'm going to do that for both of these. We now have our finished strap anchors. Grab your back panel, exterior, find your center of this unsewn edge, well, of the basted edge. And I'm going to just snip the center of this too. So I have it. Alright, and you're going to match up the center at the center. Okay, but to make sure that this gets caught in the seam here and it's not going to come loose, we're going to put it up 1/4 inch past that line and baste that in place. We are in the home stretch. Here is the basted connectors. Once we sew this together, we will trim this down. It's just, when I was making this a couple times, I was having some issues making sure that the edge was getting caught. So I just added the little extra length so that way it can, it'll definitely get caught in your seam. All right, we're gonna set this aside. We're gonna set this one aside, and we're gonna take our flap and our 2 front panels. So if you haven't already, you want to mark the centers of both the top edge and the bottom. Okay. And do that for the lining as well. And then you don't want to cut this part, but you take a pen and you want to mark the center of your zipper as well. And then while you're here, you might as well mark the center of this edge, because we're gonna need to know that. Okay. So the way this is the top flap. This is the front panel. So this is going to attach to the other side of the zipper. Zipper right side to exterior right side. So I'm going to line up that mat and match that mark. And I'm going to clip that. Okay. Now we have the lining right side up. Okay. You have your top straight edge that is going to go right side to wrong side of zipper, right side of exterior. Linings are right side together. So the only thing wrong side together with this lining is the zipper. And then match all three of those up in the center. Okay. And then you can go along the length of your zipper, and every inch or two clip together, and it should be pretty even and match up here. Always start in the center and go outward, so that way if it is a little extra hanging off, it's still going to be centered. And you can see that my zipper tape is a little off the edge here. That's all right. We're using a 3/8 inch seam allowance here, so we're going to catch all of that, so it's not really a concern. So then we're going to take this to the sewing machine, and you're going to stitch 3/8 of an inch seam allowance all the way down. So I sewed that seam, and now you can pull it right side out. You can trim the seam down if you want to. Just don't trim down the zipper tape. So you would need, if it's too thick, you could trim down this vinyl, but do not trim your zipper tape because that's just asking for problems. All right, not bad. I'm gonna go ahead and pull these apart, pull these away from the zipper. And then what I like to do is kind of line up this edge because we're gonna end up basting that together too. Just pull it, and I'm gonna clip down. You can use your iron if you like. Whatever you need to do. And then I usually keep this open, and then I'm going to start here and top stitch all the way down and across the seam. I did my top stitching across, and then I did do a base stitch all the way around this, and then you can see this side is even, but this side is not. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna trim that. So they are not even. Okay. And then the next part, we are almost done. We have the front of the pack. And now you want to take your exterior back panel. And then that attaches, the top attaches to the flap, this straight edge on the flap. So I'm going to push this right side out. I'm going to open it halfway. That keeps the zipper full all the way, and then if I need to open it more, I can. And we're going to, I have the center mark already on here and on here, and I'm going to clip that together. Okay. And clip there. And then you should be able to kind of, like, I know this is kind of at an angle, but you should be able to straighten that to meet at this edge. And you want to match at this edge, not that. Make sure I did that right on this side. Yeah, there we go. so this is right sides are together. And then I'm just gonna fold this down. You want to take the lining and right side to right side. Did I not? I didn't mark the top edge of this. And we're going to add that into the clips. Here. There. And then we're going to sew across this, all 3 layers. We're going to sew across at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay, so I have this top edge sewn across, and we're going to pull back the 2 back panels to put them wrong sides together. And you want to make sure you like pull it all the way and you get a nice crisp press there, because what we're going to do is top stitch here. But to make it easier on us for when we sew around the rest of it, I want you to start with a long tail, pull your threads out quite a bit, and then start at a 1/4 inch away from the edge for your top stitching, and then go all the way across, and then stop with a 1/4 inch left, and then pull your threads and cut the ends long as well. Okay, so I top stitched along the back panel, and I've got my long threads, and then as you can see, I did have to kind of move, this is why it's spaced in place, I did kind of have to move this out of the way to be able to see. But then I do want to make sure, I'm probably going to rebase this in place before I continue, but I'll show you before continuing. This one's okay. I did have to move this one out as well, but it's not a big deal. Anyway, yeah, I'll probably rebase these just to make sure they're secure. And what we're going to do is we're going to clip together the remaining parts of the panels. So we need to have the right sides together of the exterior, right sides together, and then the right sides together of the interior. And this is why I had you not do the top stitching here. We could probably even unpick a little bit here, but it'll be fine. All right, so I'm gonna go fix these based edges first. Okay, so these are a little bit more secure now. Anyway, so we're going to start with the exterior, matching right sides together. So we're going to match there. And then we're going to match this corner. Okay, and then you're going to flatten this down and pull over the lining and add that in. Okay, and you want to make sure this doesn't get caught in any of your clips. And then I've got that side, I have these two, yep, and I got these two. Okay, so make sure these are out, and then we're going to sew remember this isn't part, this is just extending out. So this line here, that's where you're starting your seam allowance. But you're gonna do 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around. I sewed around the remaining edges. I'm going to take my pinking shears and I'm going to cut into the seam allowance around the corners to help that. You can also just cut in you can do some snips into it and try it that way. And then it does look like I almost missed the seam right here, so I'm gonna go back and fix that. And then I'm going to turn it right side out through here. Okay, so I have got this right side out now. And the last step for this version is to pull out the lining of your back zipper pocket and just sew this opening close. Just go across and stitch across that and then shove it back in, and it's done. Now for this one I just need an adjustable strap, which I'm not going to show how to make in this video. You can follow the instructions or make an adjustable strap in whatever way you enjoy making your straps. So yeah, there we have it. And that's it. You should now have a finished fanny pack. Enjoy. Again, please post in the Facebook group. I want to see them. Send me emails. Send me a message on Etsy. I love seeing your finished product, okay? And if you are having any issues at all with creating this or any of my patterns, please reach out in the Facebook group, my messages, or email, comment. I don't really get notifications for comments on the videos, so I may not see that. In your best option is probably one of the other avenues of communication, but I want to help you. I want you to be successful in making my patterns. Yeah. So let me know if you enjoyed this video, and I do plan on making videos for my patterns that don't have them yet. So next on my list is the Around the Bend wallet. I haven't made a video for that yet, so I'm going to work on that. And then I have videos made for the page turner. I have them all recorded. I haven't edited it, so that is also on my list of things to accomplish, so I can get that up as well. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the pattern, and enjoy the rest of your day.